need another, this one here really do it for you.
Baby, you need a reason. Yeah, baby, I'm in love for reason. Baby, come down to the reason. Let me show you how to love for reason. Love, 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 love for reason. 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 Love for reason.
Now it's my turn to tell y'all about my big bro Gerard and the podcast crew.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Don't adjust your sets. Yes, we know it is not the regular Thursday night show, but we thought we would come to you on a Monday night for the Floor Is Yours podcast. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. And as always, we invite you to like, share, and subscribe. Tell everybody that you know that the podcast is on. The Floor Is Yours is popping. We got so much fire in store for you guys that we thought we had to add an extra day this week. We missed you guys on last Thursday, but we thought we would come back today and just fulfill that appetite for you. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here today with two of the realest dudes you'll ever meet. I want to give them an opportunity to say what's up to you before we dive into today's topic. So Gerard, say what's up to the people.
What's up, good people? Appreciate you joining us. And as we always say, you could be anywhere, but you decide to be here with us. And for that, we're grateful. Thank you so much.
That's right. That's right. Thank you for being with us tonight. We got our main man, Jamar Bruce, also known as JT in the house. JT, what's up with you? Say hello to the people.
What's up, people? And thank you again for joining on tonight. And again, Gerard and Greg, I want to thank you for having me on tonight as well. Looking forward to it.
Man, you family now, man.
Hey, it's great family.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. Take off your shoes. Get comfortable.
Yeah.
You're among your people right here.
Yeah.
So it is no secret, or we don't want it to be a secret, that at the end of this month, we have a life-changing event happening in Texarkana, Texas. And so we are here just to give you a sneak preview of coming attractions. You know, when you have a big blockbuster coming out, they always give you a sneak peek. They give you that trailer. Well, this is the trailer before the blockbuster drops. We're coming with you tonight, and we're going to dive into some of the topics. We're going to dive into one of the topics that we're actually going to be talking about at the Create the Life I Want conference at the end of this month. Of course, you know, it's a men's mental health experience, not just an event, not just a conference, but an experience. And so we invite you, if you are a man, you know a man, you've ever heard the word man, to come in and join us as we do some life-changing activities and conversations. And so, Jamar, take a moment, tell us a little bit about the event, the purpose of the event, and then we'll dive into today's topic.
Yeah, sure. So again, September the 27th, Texarkana, Texas, we will be having the Create the Life I Want event. I put this event together this year, and I reached out to Gerard, and thank you, Gerard, again for wanting to be a part of this event to help me to be able to bring this event to the Texarkana area. But again, I just wanted to be able to give men that safe space, create a safe space for them to be able to talk. Like I said, we as men hold so much inside that we feel we can't talk to anyone. So I just want to be able to create that safe space to be able to get men to come out and speak about the different issues that they might be dealing with, to let them know that it's okay not to be okay, that they're not the only ones that's going through certain situations. And so we just have a great dynamic panel of speakers that'll be lined up. Yourself, Gregory, keynote speaker as well. Live performances that'll take place. Like I said, it's going to be an epic event that you don't want to miss. Great topics and great tools and knowledge that you'll be able to lead with to be able to leave and to create the life that you want. So again, just come out September the 27th. We're going to have fun and just be a part of something great.
And that link to go buy tickets is at the bottom of the screen right now, www.lifeiwantevent.com. And you're still running a special on the ticket prices, right?
Correct. $10. So go ahead and get your tickets. www.lifeiwantevent.com. So you don't want to miss out, like I said. And I encourage women to come as well, because like I told you guys, we all deal with mental health issues, and not just men. So we had a lot of women that even signed up that's going to be in attendance as well. So just anybody that you might know that's dealing with mental health issues, we encourage you to come out and enjoy.
Amen.
Yeah, I love it. I love that we're also opening the doors to women, because there is a big gap in between men and women, how we converse and how we get along and how we understand each other. And I love that we're giving women that opportunity to kind of go behind the scenes and actually hear the hearts of men, what their priorities are, what their concerns are, what their desires are, so that they're able to now to respect, love, and care for men on a deeper level. It's just going to be powerful all the way around. So if you are a man, you love a man, or you ever heard the word man, we invite you to come out to the Create the Life I Want experience there in Texarkana, Texas at Radiant Church. It's going to be off the chain.
Indeed.
Now, one of the topics that we're going to be discussing among the many is men living their life on purpose. And one of the tragedies in life is that not that men aren't living or owning up to the responsibilities, but are they living on purpose? There is a difference between surviving and thriving. And so one of the pushes that we hope that we can help men do is to thrive in life. We don't want men just to survive. We want you to exceed your own expectations. We want you to have a life that you can be proud of. We want you to have a life that your children can admire. We want you to have a life that your wife can respect. And we want you to have a life that's fulfilling to you. And one of the ways to do that is, of course, is to live your life on purpose. But listen, we understand that life happens. You know, there's job losses, there's sicknesses, there's death. And sometimes life can be a bit overwhelming, and you lose track of what you are divinely created for. And oftentimes you find so many men that are just on autopilot, going through life, checking the boxes, doing what they feel they're supposed to do, but not doing the thing that they are created to do. And so tonight's topic we're going to talk about is how to find your purpose and why is it important. Now, the truth is, God doesn't make anything by accident. And so everybody was made on purpose for a purpose. And so if you are breathing, you got air in your lungs, guess what? God intended for you to be here. And not everyone's going to have a large platform. Not everybody's going to be well-known or famous, but that doesn't make your job any less significant. And so that's one of the biggest messages I think that I want all men to know, is that whether or not your purpose is just to affect your own household with your children and your wife, or to have a large platform where you're changing the world, it's still equally valuable in God's eyes. And so tonight we're going to talk a bit about how did we find our purpose, why our purpose was important to us, and sometimes the struggles of getting there. All right, brother. So let's dive right into it. So a lot of times as young men, we do face the stigma of, I got to do what my parents want me to do. I got to do what society wants me to do. How much of that external pressure you think forces a man down a path that he is not divinely or should be going down? That society says, well, hey, you go to college, you get a degree, you get a job, you work the next 60 years of your life, and then you die. How much of that pressure you think shapes a man's path?
For me, I think it shakes a man's path a lot, because again, it's basically you're trying to live through somebody else and what they want you to be.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you're doing it, I feel that you can't truly live your purpose, because if you're doing what they want you to do, but truly not what you want to do, you can't be happy and truly not living, up to your purpose, what God might create you to do in life. So I feel like it's a lot of pressure in life, as far as like when parents pressure kids to go be something, to be a doctor. Maybe they don't want to be a doctor. Well, you can't be, happy and just really fulfill your purpose to like you want to, if you doing something that you really don't want to do in life.
Yeah, you know that's right, because when you're a young kid, you really don't know no better, right? So you actually are trusting on your mentors, your coaches, your parents to kind of tell you what's the right path to take, because you don't always know as a kid, and the road to me finding my purpose, I didn't discover my purpose until I was in my 30s. And so it wasn't until after my second daughter was born that I always knew that I loved people and wanted to help people. I knew I wanted to be in ministry, and I knew in some way, form, or fashion that I enjoyed communicating. And a little known fact about me, JT, I don't know if you noticed or not, but I was actually in broadcasting for a little while. When I met my ex-wife, I was a radio host. I was a disc jockey, if you will, and I produced a Sunday morning show. So I produced the gospel shows, and I hosted my own show. I loved it. It was great. But at the time, I wasn't making a whole lot of money, right? But I was good with that. So I was a single man. If I had to go sleep on Gerard's couch to make it happen, that's fine with me. I can eat ramen noodles no matter what it takes, right?
Yeah.
But I met my ex-wife at the time, and we quickly had a daughter. And guess what? A wife and kids, they like to eat on a regular basis. And ramen noodles just wasn't cutting it. And so I had to make a decision. Am I going to follow my dream, or am I going to do the right thing by my family? And so a lot of times I think a lot of men find themselves in that particular situation. So I let go of being in broadcasting, my big desire to be in broadcasting. And I got a job at a mortgage company, and I worked in a mortgage company. I worked in the mortgage industry for a number of years, and it provided well for my family. I was able to support my children, my wife, and do all of the things. But truth be told, I wasn't following my passion. I wasn't following what I think God brought me into this life to do. And so one of the reasons why I enjoy the Floor is Yours podcast so much, because I feel like I'm getting back to what it is God divinely designed me to do, and that is speak to the masses on this type of platform. So that rings true for me, that sometimes life in itself just kind of pushes you to make decisions that you naturally wouldn't do. What about you, Gerard? You got any feedback for us?
Yeah. One thing that you both was talking about when you're finding your purpose. One thing that I learned as I start to do community work and interact with others, that there is a God-given purpose, I think, for us all, but we develop individual passions, based off of a number of things. But I think for us to live our best life, our greatest life of true peace, not just that fabricated, superficial peace, but we need to be operating as well at the same time in God's purpose. And I think it's important to point out that those purposes should not conflict, right? So if I'm doing something that I'm passionate about, it could be for the wrong reason, and it could interfere with my God-given purpose. And for example, if I'm a father and a husband, right? My other passions or purposes, if you will, should not go against good order and discipline, for those things that are important to us. You talked about in your household, those things that you want to make sure that you're not negligent. So I'm sure we'll get further into that, but I just want to make sure that we added some context around that, just saying that there is a God-given purpose, and we can define our own things that are important to us as well. God gives us that freedom. I think we need to be sure that we're understanding that those should not conflict with each other.
Mm-hmm. That's a great point. There's a difference between passions and priorities.
Yeah,
so we got to be clear of either one. But it does bring up a very interesting question, something I've actually never thought of before. Can purpose be seasonal? So say you're a basketball coach, coaching young boys and pouring into them to make them strong men, and you do that for 10 years. Could maybe the next 10 years you're in corporate America? Is your purpose something that could change over time? What do you guys think?
I say, yeah, not to get too biblical, but there's in Matthew, when Jesus is talking, giving the parables and Sermon on the Mount, he says, paraphrasing it, of course, but he talks about giving people the proper food in the proper season. So it does can adjust. Your kids get older. People may get sick and pass away. Job may change. You may go to a different part of the country. So a number of things can change, what's most important in your priority at that moment. And again, if it's seasonal, it may never go away. And God may be setting things in motion so you can operate in that passion as well, too. So it is, I think it's important to have a prayer life, mentors, like-minded people around you, and you're sharing ideas and talk so that you can, just bounce those understandings off each other. But to your question, can it be seasonal? I think absolutely it can, and often is.
Yeah.
JT, what you got for us?
Well, I think it could be seasonal as well because I've found myself, leading to do one thing and then doing something else, like going as far as like I take example like with filmmaking. I began like as far as like doing filmmaking, like narrative films, trying to help people, and then I feel now that even though I'm still helping people like with the program, I feel like my purpose is changing to get more to be more but out from behind the camera and more like being able to more public speak. So I
Mhm.
feel like that's like it can change like as far as your purpose because I was doing film for so long. Like I said, just trying to help people, but I feel that now it's in my lifetime season in my life that it's time for me to just get out more and do more like public speaking to be able to actually get out there and be able to touch people and be able to have that conversation with them versus them being behind the camera as I was previously.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. My thoughts are our purpose grows and evolves as we grow and evolve. And so I think that God ultimately has a design for us that He knows exactly how He wants to use us. And so in one season, He's building one muscle that you will need in the next muscle. So as we go from level to level, God is saying each level that you're in, each season that you're in, I'm just preparing you for the next one. It doesn't stop here. And I think that's the great thing about God is that He's never done with us. And I think that's an important message for any man who may have, fallen on hard times. He may have lost a job. Is that you still have purpose. There is something still in you that God can use. And so even though you may have thought your purpose or your season was to be a father, but now your kids have grown and out of the house, or you may thought it may have been that job or your physical abilities. It is God just saying, here is a new way to use the muscles that I have developed in you from the previous season. I'm not done with you yet. I got more work for you to do. And so one of the fears that I think a lot of men as they get older and we start getting a little bit of gray hair and we start moving a little bit slower, we don't see ourselves as effective as we used to. But just because you're not effective doesn't mean that God is not effective anymore. He is still able to use us. When we look at a lot of the heroes in the Bible, many of them were seasoned saints, as you would say, where we would say are far beyond their prime, but they
Yeah,
did their greatest work in their later years. So
yeah.
you can't don't give up on yourself.
Hey, you got me thinking about those old Chinese movies I used to watch when I was younger. When they trained those young monks and the
Yeah.
OG monk, if you I don't know what to call them, but they just sit back and they just giving wisdom and they're calm and they're collective. But if they need to get in a fight, like they could, right? And they was strategic with it. And I think to your point, it's like that as we age and as we become more seasoned. It's just that way. But I did want to throw another point in there too about how important it is to understand your purpose, and we're gonna get more in there on ways to discover your purpose. But I just remember operating in periods of high anxiety and depression and emptiness, and just trying to understand like what am I supposed to be doing here? And JT, you said this earlier how people would put it on you what they think you should be doing, and it could be right or wrong. But if you're not actively searching and meditating and trying to figure it out, you can be out here just flapping in the wind and really like a flag, right? Just however the wind blows you, that's how you are. So to the men out there, I'm telling you, this is not just us just filling space right now. It is so important to understand your purpose and operate in there. So I did just want to say that before we get into some pointers and tips on how to discover your purpose.
Yeah. Finding out your purpose is a requirement. It is a necessity. It's not optional because there are people that are depending on us to be who we are. And if we think about it like this, there's currently someone who is suffering because you're not walking in your purpose. It is
Wow.
someone who is going without because you're not operating in your purpose. And if
Give us
that
an
doesn't
example. Like, what does that look like? What could it look like?
hmm hmm So, because you're not operating in your purpose, your children aren't seeing the best version of yourself. Because you're not operating in your purpose, your community is going without a leader. Because you're not operating in your purpose, there's God's missions that are not being executed. There's songs that haven't been written, books that haven't been written. There's discoveries that haven't been made. And so whatever it is that you were created to do, that was your gift, that was your assignment. And so somebody is missing out on something because you're not living in your purpose. Someone is counting on you to do it. So we got to be on business. Got to stay on business here. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we probably got some guys out there asking, hey, Gerard, hey, JT, hey, Gregory, how do I find my purpose? We're going to dive into a couple of ways you can discover that. Here's the biggest way. There's a lot of ways, but I want to start with this one because I feel like this is the most important. Ask yourself what angers you. What's the thing in society, in this world, in life that makes you angry? When you think about it, it just gets under your skin. Why that is important is because not everything that angers one person angers the other, right? And so for me, I firmly believe that mental health attacks are an attack of the enemy. There's nothing that makes me more angry than to see someone suffering in depression or anxiety or panic. I feel like that is legitimately an attack of the enemy. And so I dedicated my life to mental health because that is the thing that gets me most riled up, the most angry. I remember when my youngest daughter was little, you guys have seen those commercials where you see the animals behind the cages and they look like they haven't eaten in weeks. They look all sad. Well, my youngest daughter used to see those commercials, and at times she would get emotional just seeing the helpless, hungry animals. And she would look at me and go, Daddy, isn't that so sad? And my response was usually, I guess so. Because it didn't move me the way that it moved her. It didn't make me a bad person. It just said that that's not my calling. That's not my path. But it angered her. It made her sad. It made her emotional. And so one of the ways that you can find out what is your purpose is find the problem that you wish could be fixed. What is the thing that angers you? What is the biggest problem you think we face in society today that needs to be corrected? Is that social activism? Is that healthcare? Is that in the technology field? Is that in the fashion field? Is that in the legal field? Wherever it may be, God is telling you, you have that anger. Now use it as a passion. So I'm going to throw it out to the fellas here on the panel. What angers you the most?
Well, I say I'm glad you brought that up because I spoke to you guys earlier how when I was little and I used to watch a bunch of news. So I played outside too, but it was just strange because I was in my, middle school years and I watched a bunch of news, which, is not the best thing to watch while you're young. But I just seen a lot that the world was going through, a lot of things that was happening. And so I became frustrated with how a lot of things were happening, such as like homelessness, just things, just all kind of crazy things that was happening in the world. And that's when I told myself that I always wanted to make a difference in the world. Make and change and be a help to people in the world. And that's what ended up leading me to as far as like filmmaking, because I knew I wanted to make that difference in the world. So I would say what angered me was just seeing like the different things on the news that was happening, that the world was just going through when I was in middle school and high school. And I just always said I want to make a difference and be able to make an impact in people's lives so that they wouldn't be able to have to go through those certain situations that I was seeing and witnessing over the news.
I think that's so dope that you want to go into filmmaking because I've heard a lot of pastors say that if Jesus was with us today, he would probably be a filmmaker because Jesus spoke in parables, right? And so he always gave these visual images of the message that he was trying to convey to the people. And so it's not a far-fetched idea that if Jesus was with us today, he would probably be in the movie business a little bit,
Yeah.
So to show people exactly what that is. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Gerard, what makes you angry?
Oh man, all you gotta do is follow me on social media. Hey, man, this is one of the most just the most toxic political environment we've been in a while, and surely easily in my lifetime, right? So for me, it's really seeing people taken advantage of. So it's multifaceted. People not taken care of. People taking advantage of, right? And leaders not doing what they're supposed to do. There's a lot of negligence in there, a lot of selfishness. I served 26 years in the Army, and as I think back, when I started, when I first joined, and I came to this conclusion, realization that God started preparing me for what I'm doing right now. He started preparing me years ago, and I remember kind of what JT is saying. When the first Gulf War was going on, I was in middle school, and me and some friends, we were just sitting out in the streets, and we were talking about war. We weren't playing, football, any other mischievous, behaviors. Like, we was concerned about what was going on in the war. And one of those guys I was talking to at the time, he's been in politics forever. He's chief of staff for several congressmen. But just to circle back to your question, though, just seeing people taken advantage of, for one, and a lot of that is what you talked about, Gregory, is when someone is not operating in their purpose, it allows people to be taken advantage of. So,
yeah, absolutely. Leadership is so huge in today's society. I think we take it for granted that just because you have a degree or you have a credential doesn't mean you're qualified to be a leader.
right.
There's a leadership involves your character as much as it involves your knowledge.
Absolutely.
There has to be a balance between the two. You
Yeah.
can't be one way or the other. It has to be balanced. And so we have a lot of people who get in positions of power but don't have a prayer life. And so I
Yeah.
wish it wasn't that way a lot of times.
I'm glad you talked about the character part, because they're so closely intertwined, right? And dependent on each other. Your purpose can be damaged, right? Your ability to perform your purpose at a high level can be affected and damaged from bad character moves, right? Now,
Yeah.
that don't mean you can't recover, but I think about the David. Remember, David had so much blood on his hands that God was like, you can't build this. You're not going to build this temple. You're not going to be the king when his temple is built. And it doesn't mean that, God didn't favor David, but there are things that we can do, that can affect our ability to perform our purposes at a high level. So I just think that's something important to
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is. Number 2, how do you find your purpose? Your purpose is the thing you do with the least resistance but are most effective at. So the things that comes natural to you that don't come natural to others. That can help you identify what your purpose is. The thing that comes natural to you that doesn't come natural to others. That kind of helps you understand what your purpose is. So one of the things that come natural to me is holding conversations. I don't have a problem. You can wake me up at 2:00 in the morning and say, yo, G, we ready to do a podcast. I will wipe the crust out of my eyes and turn on the camera. I am always ready for a good conversation. And so that comes natural to me. And it was surprising to me as I, was growing up through life, like, hey, everybody ain't like that. You got to prep. You got to be told 2 days in advance or 3 days in advance. You just can't get up and go. When I found out that wasn't the norm for everybody, it did make me stop and pause and go, God, why am I like this? Why is it a natural flow or a natural ease for me to hold meaningful? And other people aren't the same way. And so whatever that quirk is about you, that thing that people go, you not like everybody, you different, or you kind of strange that way, that is an indication of your purpose. That indicates that this is something that the world needs, because not everybody in the world can do. So if you're someone that can walk into a kitchen and only have 5 ingredients and make a 5-course meal, God is trying to tell you something there. Or if you're a person that can walk in a room that's chaotic and you can bring peace, God is trying to tell you something there.
Yeah.
So the thing that you do at ease that doesn't come easy for others is a huge indication of where your purpose is. Have you guys ever known anyone that kind of just walked into a room and brought this type of energy to a room, and you go, oh, that makes sense why they do what they do?
Yeah. Barack Hussein Obama, he was that guy. But something that you had me thinking about too. You can be good at it, but you can be doing wrong with it, right? Yeah. So it's also just because, and this is for those spiritual leaders, right, who are out there mentoring and the elders in the faith, especially when you see people doing things well, but it might be in the wrong sense. Maybe they need some guidance, some some what to do, so some suggestions to get them on track.
I totally agree. I've often believed that criminals are people who are talented but using their abilities in the wrong direction.
That's what I was getting at.
You know? Yeah, you think about drug dealers and racketeers and all those type of things. Those are talented people who are using their gifts for evil and not for good. So they have the potential, they have the talent. And so oftentimes when we talk about men, as we get back to the conference and we're talking that men, you may see that, hey, I'm just this, or I'm just that, or, fixing cars has always come natural. Just because you may not think fixing cars is ministry, it still is important. Think about the lives you can change by building a business and hiring other people and the lives you can impact just because you use your gift and talent. The employment that you can bring to a community, the inspiration you can tell young people, here's another path to go. You don't have to go to law school or medical school. You can be a business owner fixing cars like me, the inspiration that you give. And so to get back to what we talked about earlier, your purpose doesn't have to be this big, huge thing. It could just be you naturally being you, and you'll see this ripple effect. Are you just walking in your gifts and talents?
And I say for me, Gregory, like when I think of things that come natural to me, it's just helping people. And I've learned that can be a good thing and a bad thing, because sometimes you can give too much to people to where it leaves your cup empty. And I've experienced that a lot. So sometimes you just got to make sure that, you leave enough in your cup too, and not just empty your cup so much.
Yeah.
Because I've experienced that a lot too. So like I said, just coming naturally is just helping people, but that can be a good thing and a bad thing.
Yeah. And another part of that too is when you doing it the wrong way, I just remember it don't go well, not just being a criminal, but I got into a lot of trouble with my parents. I was what I learned again later on, I was like this natural born leader, but I was oftentimes leading people to the wrong thing, so people listen to me, and I make jokes with some lifelong friends about that now, and I just look back and like, man, I can't believe you used to follow me and do what I used to say. But it's possible to be to have a God given talent and not be doing it right, and that's especially important when you're thinking about titles like husband, father, coaches, mentors, siblings, like these people that are under your charge that you have the influence to guide and direct. Like, man, heaven forbid if you lead some of these people astray because you don't want to do right.
Right. Yeah. JT, I like what you said though, because sometimes men who have a purpose, they do get used a lot. You probably heard this before, that the reward for work well done is more work. Right. And so especially when you are a good man and you are a good father and you are a good employee, guess what? That expectation is that you're going to always do that and always be available. And as a man, sometimes the pressure that you feel, like JT was saying, to supply your purpose, you can face burnout. The expectation, I can never have a day off. I can never break. I can never cry. I can never say I'm tired. I can never say I'm exhausted because I'm the man and I'm using my gifts and my talents. That right there is a dangerous place for men to be, because they are literally killing themselves slowly.
Yeah, for the wrong honor. So let's go to a commercial break. I see the comments is coming in. So to the audience, thank you for the comments. We're gonna get back on the other side of this and let Gregory decide if we want to do the comments or if he got another point to present. So here we go.
Every man battles something, but not every man has a space to heal. Texarkana, September 27, 2025 at Radiant Church. It's time to create the life you want. Join Jamar Bruce and Gerard Ware for a powerful, purpose-driven experience focused on breaking the stigma behind men's mental health. This life-changing event features a dynamic panel of real conversations, live performances and entertainment, epic giveaways, and special guest appearances, featuring Sunday Best Season 6 runner-up Kafia Rollerson, keynote speaker Gregory McKinney, hosted by nationally renowned comedian Derek Keener. This is more than an event, it's a movement, a place for healing, strength, and community. Don't miss your chance to be a part of something great. Together, let's create the life we want. Secure your spot today at www.lifeiwantevent.com.
I ain't ashamed. Jesus took my guilt and he broke every chain. Mental health is wealth and I'm choosing to heal.
Oh, we'll drop Gregory. Let me get him back on here. Yo, what's up, brother?
Yo. Sorry about that. I snuck out there for a moment.
Yeah.
You know, JT, I'm so glad you're here. Every time I see that commercial for the Create the Life I Want conference, I get more and more excited. Tell us real quick, what is your big dream for this conference? Like, what is the one thing that you would love to have happen to be the result of this conference? What's your big dream?
It's for just men to come out and just to receive the knowledge that they need, to let them know that it is okay to be helped, to get help, that you don't have to be strong, that you don't have to act like this tough guy, that you don't have to hide behind the doors in suffering, pain, and in silence. That it's actually out there other men that's going through the same things that you're going through, and that people care, and that I just want to be able to give you that safe space to be able to open up and be able to get the tools that you might never had, the knowledge that you might never had from the different panel of speakers. Like I said, so many lack of resources that I feel in the Texarkana area. And I feel that this dynamic panel that we have of resources will be able to, spread light and be able to share the tools and the knowledge and the wisdom that they need to be able to help to create the life they want and to be able to be a better person in today's society. So that's my biggest hope and my biggest prayer for this event.
That's awesome. Well, I think that's going to happen. I think that it cannot happen with the lineup that you have in store. And I mean, I've even heard that Gerard's going to be allowing people to take pictures with him. So it's going to
price.
How much you charging, Gerard?
Initially, Gregory told me to charge $20, but I'm gonna do it for $10. Man, $10. Two poses.
Two poses.
Yeah.
No, I'm real excited about this. I mean,
Yeah.
like every day I wake up, it's the date nerves. Like I'm getting more excited about it, and like I said, just hope everyone come out and just learn.
Absolutely.
And enjoy yourself.
Same here. I get more and more excited about it every day as well. Well, one last tip into how to find your purpose, and then I'd like to go to the comments, and that is, who do you wish would show up? Who do you wish would show up? And so when we look at society, when we look at your home, when you look at your church, when you look at your community, who do you wish would show up? When you say to yourself, I wish somebody would, well, on the other side of that would is you. So I wish somebody would come to our community and help clean up the streets. That person is you. I wish somebody could come into my home and help fix our marriage. That person is you. I wish somebody would help lead our children down a better path. That person is you. So whenever you ask the question, I wish somebody would, that somebody is you. And so for the men out there who feel like this is daunting, that you don't have the resources or the power or the know-how, yes, you do. I'm gonna tell you why. Because if you are a believer, you may feel like you have nothing, but with God, you have everything. So all the men, listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, this is your hour. This is your time. You're on this planet for such a time as this. You could have been born during any moment in history, but God chose you for this one. So the person that you wish would show up, he is you. That's the person that is the person that God has brought to make that change. The person is you.
And that's the important point about that too, is it is you, right? And we might feel inadequate, but he also gave us the ability to develop and to grow and do some of the simple things, network and ask questions, right? If I need to be a better father, there are people out there that are ready to pour out, right? And of course you need to be careful on who you confide in. But if it's, something simple as cleaning up the neighborhood, is literally people out there just waiting for somebody to give them some marching orders, right? and they'll gladly fall in. You know, that old saying that if you build it, they'll come. Like that's true. And so, you know what? It may be you at once, and somebody's next time they remember that you were out there by yourself, and they're joining forces with you, and then they're bringing the other people in to help you. So just move, right? You know, that's one of IC's big statements right there. Just move. Stop being still. Stop being lazy. You need to be intentional and just move. Get out there and get started, and you'll be surprised of how quickly and you can begin to amass help and people to join forces with you to help you with it, whatever it is that you're doing.
100%. So many people just wait for somebody to go first. Hey,
Yeah.
you go first, I'll be right behind you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. That's good.
So do we have some comments? I heard.
Yeah, man, we got a lot of them, man. Our very own Matwana Bruce, who's also part of the event, she's going to be moderating. So I'm real excited about Matwana. She's, you know, if you saw us 2 weeks ago, she was on the show and brought a plethora of, and a wealth of knowledge. But she's going to be a moderator of one of the panels. So, but she says yes, men and women process mental health and emotions differently. So this was early in the show when we was talking about women coming to and being a part of this. So I'll let either you or both of you speak on the comment from Matwana. My
Thank
Twana.
you. My Twana. Yeah.
Yeah.
Men tend to implode, women explode. And so women tend to live their emotions more externally. Men tend to live their emotions more internally. There has to be a balance between the two. And what is so great about the Create the Life I Want event is that men get a safe place to actually live their emotions externally for a change.
Yeah.
Because in day-to-day society, we don't get the opportunity, as we were saying earlier, to say that I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I'm frustrated, I'm hurt, I'm offended. The expectation of men is just to keep going. And so where women sometimes, they get greater latitude when it comes to crying and showing vulnerability that men don't get. And so what JT has created here is an opportunity for men to say, no, it hurts. It hurts. I need to take a knee. I need to take a pause. It hurts right now, and I need to get recouped. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that too, because again, I truly believe that men and women do process when it comes to mental health emotionally differently. Again, because it's just how we were raised, as far as like to be that strong, that superhero versus like a woman. They're not really raised like that in the household versus how a man is raised. So I think that does have a impact, and they do process things differently as well.
That's good. And I think it's important to bring out that neither one is more important than the other, right? They work in unison for each other, offer balance, if you will. So, you know, that old book, Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus. Neither one is more important than the other. We have different duties, if you will, and you know, the impact different ways, but they're equally important. So,
and I changed, Gerard, I changed the moderator, so Matwana ain't doing it no more.
What?
I'll play it.
Oh, okay. Oh, man, she's gonna get you for that one. But my Twana also said purpose starts in the home. And when I saw that, the verse that came to mind was that was it First Tim, one of them, and it says that a man that doesn't provide for his relatives, especially his own family, is worse than an infidel. So, yeah. So that's a powerful statement right there. You got to take care of home. One of the worst things for somebody to see is a man or someone who has responsibility at home, but he's out doing everything for everybody else and neglecting the very people that he's first responsible for. That doesn't mean that you can't do things in other spaces and other areas, but Gregory used the word earlier, talked about priorities, right? And it's important to prioritize all these things that are important. Your mother, your other siblings, your neighbor, your job, your kids, your wife. Nobody is more important than the other, but they all are priority, and each moment can change, right? What you do for one person at this moment might be the priority, but it might change the next moment. So it's important for me and for leaders to use discernment and know how to juggle those different priorities and not neglect either one of them.
I totally agree. I think family is our first ministry. And before we serve the world, we need to serve our home. Absolutely.
Ooh.
I totally agree.
Hey, say that one again, man.
Before we serve the world, we should serve our home. Our family is our first ministry.
Hey, I just wanted to put the shades up when you said it right there. Right? Hey, my cornball moment right here, man. But that was good, man. That was good. Yeah, you say thank you. Another one from Antoine. Keep them coming. But she said a lot of parents live through their children to achieve things they couldn't. It's vital to seek God on why He put your children into this earth realm. And that was earlier when JT you were talking about, we're telling or forcing what we want our kids to do, which we don't want to say that we shouldn't push our kids, right, and give them options. But it's important to listen to them and figure out what they like, what they're good at, and give them options and let them be a part of that decision making as well. Yeah.
I
let
think
someone go ahead.
We need to change. We need to have a healthy viewpoint of what parenting is. And I think so many parents think parenting is like you get this lump of marble and you're parenting and you're just chipping away at all of the bad things and you're sculpting and you're creating the person that you think they should become.
Yeah.
Versus what I think real parenting is you have received a seed and you've planted it. And your responsibility as a gardener is to create the environment so that it can blossom and bloom to be whatever God has made that seed to be.
Yeah.
Your child is the seed. Your responsibility is to water it and to nurture it, to make sure it has the environment where it can grow and be the best version of itself. God has already determined what that seed is to become, not you. You are responsible to create the environment where the seed can blossom.
That's good. That's good. I'll let someone take this one right here from Antoine as well. Either one of you want to read this one? Girl, you put no glasses on.
I gotta put them on.
No, so I speak about that one. So for me, I would have to agree with that. And I would say part of that is just finding what you value the most in life. The good stuff.
Yeah.
And for me personally, example like helping people with filmmaking, that's something that was close and near to my heart. Even this event, like just being able to help people in doing things where I don't need the recognition or doing things where I don't need to be paid for it because I have a passion for it. It's what sets me on fire. So when you can find things that, set you on fire where you feel like you don't have to be paid for it right then, or where you don't have to have the recognition, the likes, the shares of Facebook, then I feel you found your purpose.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. And the thing about that too is sometimes for me, what makes me feel good is seeing other people benefit or either grow or learn something from it. It might have nothing to do with $1, or any recognition, but it's just seeing the people that benefit from your labor.
Yeah. Is what's important is to be able to discern your purpose versus what is pleasure, because there's a lot of things that sets us on fire, and your purpose will always serve others, not just yourself. Because if I do what sets me on fire, then I'm just sitting on the couch all day eating Doritos and drinking milkshakes. But that doesn't serve anybody but myself. And so you have a lot of people who will say, well, this sets me on fire. Well, it's only serving your flesh. It's not serving anybody else. Your purpose will always be of service to someone else, not just you.
Yeah. And some people might not receive that, but I believe wholeheartedly there's no greatness apart from service, right? And it says the greatest amongst you will serve you, right? Will be your service. So good point. Mr. Two Mics Up, my man Dame, he said purpose is growth. We had a young brother on here before calling Furious Styles. He's a music artist, but he said this one day. He said that anything with life grows, and if it's not growing, it's because it's dead. And I believe that purpose is like what you said, Gregory. It's ongoing. It don't end, and it's gonna to Dame's purpose is gonna grow.
Yeah. I even go deeper with that. I think if you're remaining still, you're still dying. So there's a lot of people that are sustaining life, that are just keeping up what they need to keep up, keeping their head above water. But if you're not growing, then you are dying.
Yeah. You want to take this one, Gregory?
Yeah. I got my glasses on, so I'm ready. I believe we realize as adults, life begins after 40. Anything before that are learning lessons to build a solid foundation for purpose. You know what? Maturity should bring wisdom, and I think there's a lot of truth in that statement, Matuan. I think you really are bringing it on home. The saying goes that experience is the best teacher, right? And so you only gain wisdom by going through life, falling down, picking yourself up, falling down again, picking yourself up, and on and on and on. I'm really careful about putting a particular number on it, but I do believe around the age of 40 is when the light bulb goes off and things start getting clear, and you're able to now discern what is good for you and what is not for you. But whatever, if it's 30, if it's 40, if it's 50, or if it's 60, the goal is to find a place now where you're in your groove and your life is means something more than just serving yourself.
Yeah.
That you are here for a reason. And so if you are 99 years old and God hasn't given up on you, don't give up on yourself. Everything before 99 was a learning lesson. And now it's time to operate in your purpose.
Yeah, I just see it now. 99-year-old coach out here pushing
That's
people
right.
to be great on the football field.
That's right. Do it. Make it happen.
Make it happen. You want to take this one, JT?
People are tired to fulfill. So many people are tired of fulfilling your divine destiny.
Yeah.
What do you actually mean about it, Antoine?
Yeah. That's a good question because it can mean some different things. But y'all talked about this earlier about people tied to you fulfilling your destiny. That
Right.
does. I love the way JT is framing this question because it could go the other way. You could be so dependent on somebody else that you're sitting still, right? You don't want to be doing that. But to the point that y'all both talked about earlier, someone could be waiting or dependent on you to be faithful where you are, especially when you're talking about parents and mentors and coaches and teachers. But at the same time, you're right. We don't want to be sitting still and not
Not doing
not
Yeah.
doing what we're supposed to be in the moment. Yeah.
So to piggyback on that, one of the things that I feel is the purpose of a man is to move the needle forward. And so that's why I tend to believe that our purpose is more than just us, it's connected to the people that's also around us. Because as a man, you are now in the driver's seat of your particular generation. And so your purpose for the time and the era that you was born in is to move the needle forward so that your bloodline, your kids will have more opportunities, have a brighter horizon than you had. And so if you're a man and you have the capabilities and opportunities and potential and you're not taking it, then you are not fulfilling your purpose, because the design of a man is to help move the story forward. It's to help the next generation just go a little bit further than you do. That should be the goal of every man, to move the needle forward.
That's good. That's good. And then just to add to her statement, she did come back with some clarity. Well, Dr. Jennings, we'll get to that in a minute, but this is Tawana. She said more to what Gregory said earlier. If you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, then the doors that are meant to open by you so others can walk through it. Yeah.
There you
So
go.
you're right. Absolutely.
Okay. Thanks for the support, Matuan.
Yeah. And I like this one right here. We were talking about character earlier. She said only good character can keep you in leadership. Lack of character produces scandals. Yeah. So, yeah. Hey, some bad character keep people in leadership these days, but hey, that's a top for
Talent would get you in the door, but character would keep you in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah, even bad character sometimes, unfortunately. But again, that's the topic for another show. Hey,
It's like you got somebody in mind, Gerard.
huh?
So it's like you thinking about somebody in particular.
Yeah, a whole cabinet of people. But hey, topic for another show. Hey, Dr. Jennings, blessing us with her presence. She said, important topic. You all touched on points that men don't have words to ask. It's okay to still be on a journey of discovering your purpose. There is no time limit as long as breath is in your body. And as you kind of alluded to that earlier, Gregory, I'll let you expound on that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's important for men to, number one, not to compare their journey to someone else. I mean, who wouldn't want to have LeBron James's life? You know, the money and the fame and the talents that he's has, or to be Barack Obama. You know, who wouldn't want to have that platform or that type of influence? But the thing is that we have to grow to accept this, to know that God created us for our own individual journey. And in that journey, it's okay that it looks different, but it doesn't mean it's of lesser value. And whether or not, whatever season it's in, if you have a head of gray hair or no hair, God is able to use you. But here's the thing that I think that Dr. Jennings is hinting at, and I wish men feel safe and comfortable doing this, is to ask, is to say, I don't know yet. And that's okay. I don't know yet. I'm striving to be a man of good character, of a good moral compass, but right now I'm not sure. And hopefully the tools that we gave you today of finding out what's the issues in life that you wish could be solved, what are the things that make you angry, what's the thing that comes to greater ease, and who do you wish would show up, will lead you down that journey to ask yourself, what it is I'm here to do. It's okay. It's okay to say, I don't know. I'm 45 years old. I'm 55 years old. I don't know what my purpose is. You have a purpose. God loves you. And if you don't know your purpose, here's the most basic purpose of every human being alive: to be the best version of yourself. So if you don't think that, if you don't not sure what your purpose is, your number one priority should be to maximize your own potential. Be the best version of yourself.
Yeah. And realizing that you don't have to do it alone. There are people like yourself, you do this, your life coach business.
Yeah.
This event put together by Jamar, Matwana. She has her consulting business, Dr. Jennings. She's doing great things. There's people, too many names. So, but I'm just saying that there are resources out there that we don't have to do it alone, nor were we meant to do it alone, right?
Absolutely.
So it's important to network, grow your network of individuals and resources, and brainstorm this thing out, right?
1000%.
Yeah.
1000.
So it's been good. Hey, we got another one real here. This other question, then Greg, we're gonna let you wrap up the discussion and take us to our parting thoughts. But Matwana said comparison will get you stuck. We are each equipped to do different things spiritually and naturally. Comparison will deceive you into thinking you can do something you don't have the weight to carry. Oh my Lord. Yeah. I think first about, in this community, we push a lot of sports, and nothing wrong with that, because you can learn a lot with sports. But outside of sports, in the rare moment that you make it, because we know the numbers of few who make it in professional sports. And then even those that make it, how long is their career, right? But absent of that, what else do you have in you, right? So, yeah, that's a great point, Matwana. Appreciate that comment. Anybody want to add on to that before we move on and let Gregory inspire us?
I think the most talented brother on this panel right now is JT. I mean, if you haven't witnessed video talent, I mean, I'm telling you, this boy is bad. He knows his thing. And so if I was in a lineup and they said who has the biggest and best talents, everybody's going to point at JT, and that may make me feel lesser than, because he's got the skills, he's got a gift. He really is great at what he does. And you're right, comparison will make me not want to flow in my gifts, just because I see the notoriety that JT gets, I see the ability that Jamar gets. It could make me want to compare and think that I'm lesser than. But all gifts are valuable. All gifts are useful. And just because your gifts look different doesn't mean they're a lesser value. The point to be made is that you were created to use those gifts. So use them, because you don't know who needs them.
Yeah, that's good, man. That's good. You always give us some good words. Appreciate the inspiration. That was a good wrap up of the show as well. But Brother Jamar, we're going to let you give your parting thoughts.
Well, I just want to say, again, just find your purpose, discover your purpose. Gregory have given you, a start with great ways to do that. So don't just let it go in one ear and not the other ear. Apply it.
Yeah.
Because again, everybody have a purpose in life.
Yeah.
God placed us here to do something.
Yeah.
So my encouragement to you is to go find your purpose, because you have a purpose.
And be intentional about it too.
Yeah.
Be intentional about it. So I just got two thoughts I want to leave y'all with. One, I look at purpose like God's divine GPS, right? You know, when you understand your purpose and you're navigating life and you're operating in it and you're helping people and you're guiding people and you're making sure you're good too. Trials and struggles are going to happen, right? But when you understand your purpose, you might get detoured, you know. But you know, when that GPS goes off and say recalculating or rerouting or something, it's going to get you there. And understanding your purpose will help keep you on track. And some of it is knowing how to be a husband, and then learning how to be a better husband, and learning how to shift because something dynamics in your family has changed. You got to learn a skill set because you have special needs child or an accident or illness, right? All those things that you're learning, it don't change your purpose, but it may change how you go about doing things. So purpose, I look at it like God's divine GPS. And other things, and you talked about this earlier, Gregory, your greatness is relevant to your circle of influence. You know, the worst thing we can do is have kids around us, our neighbors, our family, our jobs, but who we are clear across the country and another part of the world or whatever, and handling business there and neglecting those that we are directly responsible for. Your greatness is relevant to your circle of influence. And like Gregory said earlier, it might not be this flamboyant, you know, platform that you have. But I tell you, if you got kids and you're there for them and you're present and you're protecting and you're providing, they're going to love you. And if you ask them, if even in their, you know, limited vocabulary, they're going to tell you in their own little way that they love you for what you're doing for them. So greatness is relevant to your circle of influence. So those are my parting thoughts right there.
Good job, man. Good job. Everybody go find your purpose.
Yeah, for sure. Please and thank you. Yeah. So Gregory, JT, any other last thoughts about the show? About the event coming up?
Just come out and support. Stop story watching and buy a ticket. Stop watching our stories. We see you watching, so you might as well go buy a ticket.
Yeah.
$10. Come out, have fun with us. Be blessed and learn. It'll be a great night. I promise you. Great lineup.
Life changing. Heard that keynote speech is gonna be off the chain too, so you don't want to miss that.
Yeah. Good deal. Yeah. So you gonna close us out, brother?
Absolutely. Hey, thank you guys so much for watching. We love you. We couldn't do this without you, and we do it for you. The Floor is Yours podcast is exactly that. It is for you. It is our purpose, our desire to bring you quality conversations that move the needle forward. So thank you for joining us tonight. Hey, if you don't remember nothing else, purpose brings clarity. You find your purpose, your choices become easier. And so until next time, on behalf of me and the brothers next to me, peace, love, and hair grease. We out.
Won't need another, this one here really do it for you.
Baby, look